kid, what are you studying right now?
I'm currently studying public relations and mass communication.
PR? Oh. Are you going to read the news on TV one day?
I think they only heard the mass communication word. They are missing the word public relations. People nowadays assume that mass communications is related to televisions and news only. Is it true? Unveil the reality. Rectifying PR misconception. Let me introduce you. The process of developing, sending, receiving, and analyzing message for large audience through spoken and written media is known as mass communications or communication. It is a broad field that takes into account both the means by which a communication is created and its intended audience. Mass communication has different specializations. For example, broadcasting, journalism, public relations, marketing, advertising. Before we continue our sessions, let me introduce you our group members.
What do ordinary people think of public relations? When talking about public relations, people will measure as the same as the marketing or advertising department, even though when meeting with people and talking about my course of study, I will end up with the media industry. Well, it is not wrong, but being public relations is more than that. We can do more than that and even join different fields that you can name it from business to the finance industry. Public relations is not limited to one field, but being public relations enables us to discover many fields according to our capability, interest, and creativity. PR and mass communications. Mass communication is the process of creating, disseminating, receiving, and analyzing message for sizable audience through spoken and written media or communications. It is a vast field that considers both how a message is created and the reason behind those reasons. Examples of this media include print, digital, the internet, social media, radio, and televisions. Mass communication includes journalism, integrated marketing communication, political communication, strategic, health, and other related fields. Mass communication experts use their knowledge of rhetorical principles and calculate media strategies to develop, disseminate, and assess persuasive message intended for a large audience. The world of public relations and mass communication are like father and son. Public relations is a type of mass communication. As previously stated, we multitask and can be involved in a variety of industries. Journalists, broadcast professionals, advertisers and marketers, content writer, graphic designer, and illustrator, and other media professionals use mass communication strategies daily to craft and launch strategic communications plans ranging from broadcast news to online marketing campaigns and PSA across nearly every industry. According to Forbes, PR is a persuasion business. We are trying to convince people, whether in rural or urban areas or even your surrounding, to promote your ideas to buy your product. The Princeton Review once said a public relations specialist is an image shaper. It is true indeed. People will look at us as the company itself, and impression of us towards them somehow can impact and reflect how our company works. Public relations objective is to produce favorable publicity for our customer and help them improve their reputation. For example, if we work for the government, we keep the public informed about the government agency operations, explain policies, and run political campaigns, so that the public is aware of our actions to improve the environment and somehow to show them that we are working on something instead of sitting and doing nothing after getting the positions.
The three fields, public relations, advertising, and marketing, are all complementary. They all support one another in some way, shape, or form, and they are all part of the family of communications. There are differences, and these differences are very important to understand, because if you're going to build a house, you don't just use one tool, you use many tools, and it's very important to know which tool does what. So these are the three differences. First, for public relations, they are more focused on creating a favorable public image through relationship building and reputation management. Second is advertising. They are more focused on drawing attention to the product through strategic placement and imagery. For marketing, marketing is a systematic process and planning of an organization's promotional efforts. PR is an earned media. Publicity achieved through pitching or convincing journalists to cover your client or organization. Advertising. Advertising is basically an audience is primarily customers or potential buyers. The last one is marketing. Marketing is a paid media. Companies have to pay for marketing efforts. What does PR actually mean? PR is the persuasion business. You are trying to convince an audience inside your building or town and outside your usual sphere of influence to promote your idea, purchase your product, support your position, or recognize your accomplishment. PR people are storytellers. They create narrative to advance their agenda. PR can be used to protect, enhance, or build reputation through the media, social media, or self-produced communications. Public relation people working for a company may handle consumer relations or the relationship between parts of the company, such as the managers and employees or different branch offices.
Without any further ado, me, Inta Natasha, and my partner Mardia will explain regarding the highlight of the issue. First and foremost, lack of knowledge in public relations. PR can take the form of an event, a product placement, or a skillfully crafted message delivered during a crisis. It is much less about promoting specific brands and more about promoting and maintaining the image of a brand, company, or large corporation. PR can focus on the company and the corporate narrative, the story of how the company came to exist and how it represents certain values and ideals, at least in theory. PR is about promoting good relationships with your consumers, your employees, and the communities where your products are made. It is about earning free news and social media coverage, but perhaps most importantly, it is about managing crises so that people are not given a reason not to buy your products.
Bad perceptions of public relations. PR Lab in 2021 listed 9 advantages and disadvantages of public relations. Comes down to their point of view with the disadvantage. First, difficult to measure. These things happen when every PR cannot be measured as different people using their techniques and having their unique skills themselves to achieve the goals. Second, little control. This means we have no control over what people read. We can pitch much news to the news center, but it comes down to our writing to impress the editor with our titles, content of the story, what to publish, and so that people will be aware of it. Third, turbulent industry. PR is a fast-paced career whereby we need to always to update with the latest news regarding our company or client and also keep up with the latest trends and technology. PR Lab noted that results are not always assured, and if you're not a professional, it can be challenging to calculate the ROI. Utilizing professional PR consultation service is a highly effective way to overcome this and boost your PR success. People's stigma on PR job scope. To be frank, public relations in Malaysia is not a famous job scope and not many know what public relations is. Public relations is always and forever a stigma in Malaysia where it is the same as marketing and advertising. I would not say wrong, but public relations is capable more of doing that. In public relations, we become the face of the company in handling crises or even promoting the company. How presentable we are when meeting people and how people perceptions to us that reflect the company work ethics and their.
There's a lot of facts about PR, but here are some of them. PR facts. Firstly, personalization matters. It is important to research a journalist's previous coverage and areas of interest to know if he or she is interested in a topic before pitching. Journalists can get thousands of emails a day, so doing your research will save both your time and theirs. Next one, The industry is always evolving. While some seem to think that communications as a field is dying as newsroom staff numbers are reduced and consumer trust in the media is declined, it does not mean media relation is not still an important facet of PR. In addition, positions exist in PR today that have not in the past, such as social media manager, brand journalist, and etc. The industry will continue to shift as new mediums evolve, but it will always be relevant for reputation maintaining and brand relationship building. Now, moving on to the myths of PR. There has been lots of speculation in the past few years about whether social media has eliminated the need of a press release. The truth is, the press release is evolving. While it is still a vital part of PR, used to pitch to journalists and give them full information on a topic, it is important for a brand to also stay timely with social media. Crisis communication is no doubt an important role of public relations, and it is important to quickly release a statement and monitor conversation during crisis. However, proactive PR makes up the vast majority of work.
Hello there. My name is Zainer Zamrachel. And I will be talking about the actual role as public relations officers. So, what PRO can actually do? AMP. How big are their responsibilities? A public relations officer responds to media inquiries for information. They strive to preserve an organization's or client's favorable image. They may accomplish this by creating marketing materials, such as newsletters, social media updates, and press releases. You are still with me, Einer. Now, let's talk about PR AMP, crisis. So, what are the example of crisis that happened in Malaysia? MH370 has been the top crisis that happened in Malaysia. Do you still remember how PRO handled the crisis? So let me explain to you. The first thing the PRO did when the crisis arose was to get in touch and keep updating the family members regarding the situation. The family members were given a hotel to gather to ease the process of disseminating the information. So let me explain to you. Press releases were done to explain the situation and let the citizens know the progress or the action taken by the government to solve the issue. Even though the issue is still not being solved up until today, it is not being prolonged by the citizens as they believe that there were action taken by the government, and it is beyond of their power. I do believe that you are not missing out on the crisis that happened in our country. So let's share your knowledge in the comment section below. Yay! We are done. So let's move on to the next discussion.
Public relations skills are essential for working in a variety of jobs that require regular communication with others. They typically include skills such as communication, research, and the ability to identify trends in public opinion. Knowing how to leverage these skills could make you a valuable contributor to a company's communications and marketing departments.
In photography, having a good photo or collection of images can make the difference between a small, text-based story and lots of eye-catching pictures for maximum impact on media coverage. Delivering the right message is vital in PR to make sure your image conveys the right message to your audience. At the same time, it can help increase your engagement on whatever platform you use for your content marketing. Plus, it is a great value as you can use them across all your platforms and marketing collateral. Graphic and creative design can help to develop your brand's image by making it much more likely for consumers to not only remember your business but to share it with like-minded people. Good graphic design can increase accessibility and visibility. With good accessibility, you will have acquired a whole new set of consumers that can actually become a free marketing tool. And a beautiful image can really go a long way in terms of creating more visibility for your brand. Nail your social media presence by curating a social media feed that is visually appealing, organized, and fits the needs of your target audience. Beginning with innovative thinking, developing these tech-savvy capabilities can give us a distinct advantage over our peers when we reach adulthood. Learning to lead through collaboration can develop effective communication skills that apply to every facet of life and any career path. By combining tenacity with confidence, we can gain confidence, viewing challenges as opportunities rather than personal failures.
In conclusion, mass communication is divided into several parts, and one of them is PR. Although many people or some companies don't even comprehend what we mean by public relations, it is a planned and continuous understanding between an organization and its target audience. Distinguishing between myth and fact is a must for effective PR practitioner. Many people do not know what PR really means, so here we uncovered a little bit about the meaning, role, and skills used as a PR to provide a broader perspective on the real reality of what is associated with PR. In fact, you must mentally, physically, and intellectually prepare to work in the public relations field. A good PR must be knowledgeable and talented in a variety of areas, including management, innovations, and communication, as well as having a professional or proactive attitude.